Hi guys. What I'd like to talk about today is actually very, very, very important. On YouTube, I have been watching a video series by Mormons. It's called 3 Mormons. And one of their videos that they're doing, one of them, is how they're going to become gods. Now, of course, we all know that this is just absolutely absurd. Because you know how Mormons take, through their Mormon theology, take verses, cherry pick them out, and then change everything in them to mean something else. You know, they're taking them out of context. Now, one of the verses they say that they take way out of context, which shows their absolute lack of understanding of scriptures, and what actually 80% of the actual church doesn't even know about. Well, here today I'm going to teach you about this. One of the verses they cite is John chapter 10, verse 34. Now that's where Jesus is having a confrontation. No, wait. Before you watch this video, I'm going to leave links to 3 other videos by a Karaite Jew. His name is Nehemiah Gordon. Now, I do not agree with everything this man says because he's still a Torah-only Jew. He doesn't accept Jesus as the Messiah. So he's a non-believer. He's condemned. But what he does do is he rightly points out the battle between the Pharisees and Jesus and the reason for that. And this is what the church, most of it, doesn't know. So I'll leave these links. You pause the video and you go watch these 3 videos. They're like between 7 and 9 minutes long. There's 5 of them all together. You can watch all of them if you want, but the point I want to make is made in video number 3 at the end. This is the point. That Jesus is standing there before the Pharisees. They're condemning him, proclaiming to be God. And he's saying to them, well, the law says you are also gods. According to that, that's what I say, right? But is that what Jesus said? Be technical with your reading. He said, in your law, you say I call you gods. Now, what law is he talking about? Well, you see, when Moses was up on Mount Sinai and God was giving him the 10 Commandments on the 2 stones, the rabbis say there was a second set given, the oral law. Now, this oral law has been in direct competition with the Torah for a very long time. And it is actually opposite Torah. It's satanic. And it's the Talmud. The Talmud is utterly satanic. And Jesus is pointing out to them, you're condemning me for being God, the giver of the law, whom is actually God. And you are saying that in your law, I'm calling you gods. He's doing the proverbial on their chests. And you will notice that every time Jesus does this with the Pharisees, he does the same thing. He's just right there. He's provoking them. I mean, I can imagine they're standing there, they're so pissed off, they want to kill him so bad they've got blood shooting out their ears. But what he's doing is he is attacking the Talmud. That's their man-made laws. That's the way they think they're going to overthrow God. They say that their understanding of the Talmud, or of the Torah through the oral law, supersedes all else, even God. They have sole authority to interpret, and then they interpret it through the oral law, which gives them the right, like most cults, to change the verses to mean anything they want them to say. And Jesus is pointing that out. You say in your law that I say you're gods. And it's the furthest thing from what it's teaching. And yet the Mormons that are claiming to be gods cite that verse, showing just how much they really do not understand what they're reading in the scriptures. They don't even know that. I mean, when Jesus constantly confronts these people, and he's nailing their Torah, the Talmud, again and again and again, he's doing it. Watch where he says, my challenge is to you guys, find how many verses where he says, your law, as versus the actual real law. Jesus is the fulfillment of the law. Jesus is the giver of the law. He is God. So he is the fulfillment of that law. He is God. Now they're getting ready to kill him under their Talmudic authority. And he's like, dudes, I'm God. Now, this battle starts way before the oral law is brought out. The angels, I don't remember what Old Testament book it was, but there's a council of divine beings, and I believe this is talking about the Watchers that were here to administrate and help do man along his way. And God is not saying, good job guys, team effort, way to go. He is so upset at their opposing views against his that he's saying, you are going to die like men. And they're all like, what? Angels die like men? What are you talking about? You know, they went and got Enoch. They said, hey man, dude, go talk to God for us. You know, they did all these bad things, and now they're going to pay for it. Well, same thing with these people citing the Talmud. They are going to pay for this severely. And then the people, the cults like Mormons that believe they're going to become gods, which is the first lie Satan told in the garden. You can be like God. Check this guy out. Don't believe everything he says, because there are things here, being a Jew that is not a believing, a Messianic Jew, that we can't agree with as Christians. And he has some connections to Michael Rood. So I'm just saying, the reason why I give the video links to him is because he was raised in the Pharisaic Jewish tradition. He is a Pharisaic, or was a Pharisaic Jew. He was raised in the Talmud traditions. And he was questioning this the whole time, how the Talmud seemed to take preeminence over the Torah. And finally, when he had his eyes opened, is when they said, you know, in the end, through our own authority, because the Talmud, the Torah is not in heaven, it's down here, we have final say that we're going to overthrow God. You know, can you believe the nerve? Well, that's the truth. So, anyway, now you know the truth. Man is not going to become gods. That's not a verse to use to say man's going to become gods, because they fail to read the text within context of the Hebraic, you know, the Hebraic traditions. As bad or good as some of them are, if you don't know them, this is the kind of stuff that will just go right over your head, and you'll never even know what it's talking about. Now you know, if you didn't know already. He wasn't talking about the law that he gave, that he came to fulfill as God, to purchase mankind with his blood. He's talking about their law, their Talmud. Your law says that I say you are gods. Just saying. Look it up for yourself. Read the verses. Do some of the back paperwork for that. Back studies, I mean. This cat driving me nuts. The first day I got here, she just way across on the other side of the road seen me and was like, come running straight at me. And like, that's my human. All right, bye.